Hey guys, Arts and Crafts here again with your daily dose of GOAT format Yu-Gi-Oh content. Today's feature match, we've got Technolize versus Toxie. As always, both players in the top 200 rated spots on the Dueling Book GOAT format ladder at the time this match was played. So some good high rated ladder content for you all. Let's jump right into it. Technolize is going to win the RPS. Choose to go first, as is standard. They're going to lead out with Thunder Dragon, so some sort of chaos deck here from Technolize. Follow up with Upstart Goblin. Always want a Thunder Dragon before the Upstart, so you don't accidentally draw into more Thunder Dragons. And then we're going to set a monster, set a couple pass. Let's see how Toxie will respond. Takes it to main phase 1 with no Dust Shoot here from Technolize. They're going to lead out with Heavy Storm, which is just going to get the straight 2-for-1. So really good start here from Toxie. Generally inadvisable to set multiple unchainables, but sometimes you have to risk it. And Toxie just had the Heavy Storm. We'll see if that ends up being a game-breaking moment here for Toxie. And they've got the knock on the set monster. It's Dekoichi. Toxie not running any of those, but Technolize on the full play set. And Toxie, you cleared out the board, answered it very efficiently here. And now we've got DD Warrior Lady slamming that down to start getting in for some damage. So really, really strong start here from Toxie. I like getting aggressive while your opponent is stuck with a couple Thunder Dragons in hand. Thunder Dragon is quite a good card, free card advantage most of the time, but unless you have a way to cash it in, sometimes you can have these awkward hands where it just gets stuck in your hand and you can't do anything with it. And so aggressive decks are good at punishing that, while like turbo strategies, other chaos strategies with Thunder Dragon are waiting to kind of unleash the potential of their hand. Technolize on the back foot here, looking to find a way to answer this. They have Snatch Steal for the DD Warrior Lady, but Dust Tornado is the perfect answer for that. Technolize has no monster for the turn, just going to set 2 pass, and it's got double Thunder Dragon here in hand. We'll see if DD Warrior Lady can continue to apply this pressure. Toxie's got Normal Summon Breaker. Okay, so this is going to play into a potential Torrential Tribute. But you've already cleared out a lot of really good back row stuff already. Breaker's going to pop one of the sets. It's just Jar of Greed. So Technolize is going to dig a little bit deeper into the deck. So playing into both Mirror Force and Torrential this turn, but looks like Technolize didn't have either of those. We do have Raigeki Break, though. Able to use one of those Thunder Dragons to pop the DD Warrior Lady. But the Breaker's still going to be here to apply pressure. And you're still pretty happy if you're Toxie here, I think. Has a back row to protect his Breaker potentially as well. Technolize. It's got the duo, okay, just to rip out the one remaining card in hand, which was Mystic Swordsman level 2. So it looks like we've got a classic Chaos Turbo versus Warrior matchup, probably, unless we see anything else kind of weird here. Duo not getting full advantage, and also 1,000 life points when you're this far behind. Could be a lot. They do have a back road here. It's still the one Thunder Dragon in hand. End phase Dust Tornado. Clear out. Okay, it was a dead trap Dust Shoot, but now Toxic is, free to do whatever they might want, knowing everything that their opponent has. They're just going to get in for 16. This is a 3-turn clock. And then set a back row pass. All right. Technolize. Is there anything you can stop this? We're going to set a monster in the way of the Breaker. Could be a lot of stuff. If you're Technolize, you'd be really excited to see like a Spy, for example, just to start walling things out and draw back up to cards. Warrior really likes existing in these, near top deck scenarios. That's kind of what the deck is built around to do. So Technolize, your goal here is just kind of stall things out, draw back up, and try to neutralize the game state. Toxie is just going to attack right into the set monster. It was just a Sangan, but that could just grab a Spy if you're running that. Yeah, and it is just going to grab Spy. In phase 2, we're going to duo to rip out both the cards. Ooh, great held duo there. Man, playing around Sangan saying, nope, no Spies today. Technolize is just purely top decking now against this Breaker that's lethal in a couple turns. and an unknown back row. Techno, just going to draw back row, set it pass. Breaker, going to get in for 16. Yep, nothing to stop it there. Set another back row, passing with lethal on board. Technoanalyze. Technolyze. Do you have a stop here? No. Just going to fall to the incessant pressure there, the unyielding pressure of Breaker the Magical Warrior. And some really nice plays out of Toxie here. Was just able to answer everything the Technolyze had to get in the way, and then the Breaker stuck around to deal all that damage. Go to game 2, though. Technolyze going to go first here. Lead out with the Liquid Duo, so likely going to get full value out of it this time. Hits Pot of Greed. Oh, that's got to hurt if you're Toxie. Pretty tragic start for our warrior player here. They're going to discard a Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, which is quite a good card in the matchup, getting over spies. But they're going to have to be without the services of that for the time being. Techno also has Pot of Greed. Into Thunder Dragon. What a crazy start. Up a million cards here. And then set a monster, set a couple back row pass. Toxie. Only got the 4 cards to work with here. Going to be an uphill battle here, most likely. We got another Ninja Grandmaster, though, so it makes sense that they discarded the first one. Going to attack the set monster. It's Sangan again. They're going to grab Tsukiyomi this time. Really good card in the matchup. Can deal with a lot of warrior monsters here. Spy not so good when you're staring at a Sasuke, but Tsukiyomi's going to answer the Grandmaster just fine. Yeah, no back row to protect it either, so... Yeah, really floundering here from the opening. Technolyze is going to be able to plus again next turn with the Tsukiyomi, unless they choose to do something even more devastating. Yeah, so they're just going to set a monster pass. Pretty clear that, you know, Toxie just attacked right into their set last turn, so likely doesn't have knock or mind con or anything. So now you can potentially resolve a real set monster like a Pot of Greed, or like a Magician of Faith grabbing Pot or something. Toxie's just going to have to attack into it. It is Magician of Faith. We're going to re-grab the Pot. And man, we're only on turn 3, but it's already looking pretty over here. Toxie's going to set a monster, set a back row pass. If they side it in or play their own faiths, as some warrior decks do, this, you know, that could be an avenue back into it. We're going to get End-Phased MST, pop the back row. It was Book of Moon, which is one way to have dealt with the Tsukiyomi that you know is in hand, so a little bit unfortunate for Toxie there again. Techno's gonna Jar of Greed, draw a little bit further. They have the Pot of Greed to draw some more stuff. Got a lot of cards in hand. Set a monster, set a whole lot of back row here. Gotta think they're probably, hopefully, they're not just gonna play straight into Heavy Storm and get massively down in card advantage. But even if you do get Heavy Storm in here, you're so far ahead that you still probably will win. Toxie's going to go ahead. So it was the Magician of Faith. So this is the route for Toxie to get back into the game. They have the Pot of Greed here. We're going to Solemn the Faith, grabbing the pot, though. So that is a lot of damage Delta Technolyze there, but it's going to prevent Toxie from kind of getting back into this. Now it does open the gates for a potential Heavy Storm, though, if that was the Solemn that you were banking on to protect your back row against that. Doesn't look like Toxie has that, though. They're just going to go ahead and attack the set monster, and then there's a Sakuretsu armor here to clear out the Ninja Grandmaster. And then Toxie's just going to go T-set pass, so could maybe has another Faith to follow up with the Pot of Greed. Could be interesting. Technolyze is going to go flip summon Gravekeeper Spy. Summon another copy of itself. We got the Tsukiyomi to go for nice little loop here as well. We're going to get set a back row pass, so not looking to get aggressive here, just trying to grow the board, stall some stuff out. Toxie, what is your set monster? Just going to set a back row pass, so it doesn't seem to be anything super real. Nothing to get through these spies. You're sitting pretty for Technolyze here. Gonna go Spy again, summon the third copy of itself. Into Graceful Charity. Quite strong, but we're going to Solemn the Graceful. Okay. So Toxie taking a lot of damage to their life points, but preventing the third Trinity piece of the game from resolving. Fair enough. Technolize gonna go for Tsukiyomi just to turn their last spy into defense position, not have it be as exposed to all the beatdown monsters that are in the warrior deck. Makes sense to me. Still no pressure being applied to Toxie here, though, so they could, given enough time, draw their way out of this potentially. Be interesting to see when Technolize decides to kind of turn the corner and start going for some damage. But for now, Toxie is just going to set some stuff. Pass. Technolize is going to go for a Chaos Sorcerer. Opponent's monster is face down, so not going to be able to banish here, but maybe just going to try to attack into it with one of these spies, and then banish it if it doesn't get cleared out. Yep, that's what we're going to see. We've got the Sakuretsu armor. Interesting. Don't always see that. You don't always see warrior decks keep in Saku against turbo lists, and it's not super trading favorably here because you have a mountain of spies to get through, but really wanting to protect whatever set monster they have here. Kind of a desperate move here from Toxie, but you're super far behind, so you got to do what you got to do. Got Call of the Haunted here, targeting probably the Ninja Grandmaster. That's a good way to deal with the Chaos Sorcerer. And that might get us some advantage here, but we've got another Sakuretsu armor here to deal with the Ninja Grandmaster, and the Sork will live to see another day. So yeah, at this point, Techno, they just have the answers for pretty much everything. Back row here for Toxic Pass. Techno going for the same play here. Surely there's not another Sakuretsu to protect this. We've got Ring of Destruction here on the Chaos Sorcerer. Interesting. So both players are going to take 23. It's going to greatly accelerate the pace of this game. Both players are now down to less than 2,000 life points. So lots of monsters in the deck could finish off both players. Spy is going to flip up DD Warrior Lady. Very interesting. So Techno is going to take another 400. Go down to 800, and now you're up a ton of cards, but Toxie has been able to deal a good amount of damage to you, honestly. And your board is just a couple spies. So something like a tribe or something coming through could really blow things out. We're going to get main phase 2 DD Warrior Lady, though, to remove another threat, and Tsukiyomi to just steal it for good there. So Toxie, you're down to just a single card. You only have to deal 800 damage here. You got a couple back row to deal with. You don't have Chaos live. It's looking pretty tough here. Got Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, though. That's 600 damage here over the Spy. Can take the opponent off Chaos. It's a pretty good draw in this scenario. We've got another Sakuretsu armor, though. The 3 all in one game. They just have an answer to everything. And now just set a back row pass, and if you're Techno, you have so many lethal, yeah. Raigeki Break, pop the set, and then swing in with whatever. All right. So pretty interesting game 2. Well, Turbo did Turbo stuff. Opened Double Trin plus Thunder Dragon, and then just had a million answers to stuff. Toxie made a good game out of it, able to whittle down the opponent's life. But Techno able to seal the deal here. Just had too many cards for Toxie to deal with. But we will go to game 3. Warrior will be going first, a position they very much like to be in. We'll see if they can continue to apply pressure like they did in game 1. Going to lead out normal summon Ninja Grandmaster, set a couple back row, pass. Techno, how are you going to deal with this? They have a Thunder Dragon to start things up. Into Pot of Greed, so a really good start so far. Into Delinquent Duo, oh man. Turbo, it's going to hit a Magician of Faith. They discard a Kaiku, does turn on Chaos, but you're probably not too worried about that here if you're Techno. It's going to set a monster, set a few back row pass, and you're off to a really, really strong start here. You have not been able to cash in your Thunder Dragon, so that is a little bit of an inefficiency that Toxie could maybe look to exploit, but even if you remove the 2 Thunder Dragons from the hand, you're still in a pretty good spot. Toxie, though, draws for turn. Got a Nobleman of Crossout to deal with the set monster. It is Sinister Serpent, so that's a good card to do away with in this matchup. Don't have to worry about that for the rest of the game. And Sinister, especially in the Warrior matchup, is a really good way to just continually protect your life points because it can just become a blocker every single turn. So happy to hit that if you're Toxie. Ninja Grandmaster is going to get in for 18 there. So back row not super live at the moment, or just choosing not to use them if you're Techno. We're just going to add another back row pass. So pressure here from Toxie. Techno's down to 5,200. We'll see if this Grandmaster is allowed to stick around. Techno's got Jar of Greed to draw into some stuff. Got Tsukiyomi, great way to deal with the Ninja Grandmaster, but will it connect? No, we've got Ring on the Suk, good way to protect it. A little bit more damage here on Techno, so Toxie doing some good stuff there. We're going to get MST on another set, but we're going to chain Dust Tornado. So another, ooh, hitting the held Mirror Force that Toxie was, or that Techno chose not to use to protect their life points last turn, and getting punished for it with the nice 2-for-1 here, held Dust Tornado. Man, things are kind of going Toxie's way a little bit here. They're protecting their Ninja Grandmaster. The board state is getting simplified. They're answering some of the tough card advantage generating plays from Techno from turn 1. And now that the game state has been simplified, Techno is stuck with this double Thunder Dragon in hand. And that now it might actually end up mattering a good amount. Oh, but we do have BLS here, though. That's a little bit unfortunate. The ring on the Tsukiyomi. Okay, so BLS is going to get slammed down. Going to banish the Ninja Grandmaster. And I guess I spoke a little bit too soon. Techno just had everything. And I guess that makes sense why they went for the MST play, just to try and clear out some back row. But not hitting anything real and still just deciding to go for it is fair. Toxie, you're pretty down, but not out for the count yet. We've got Reinforcement of the Army is a pretty nice top deck, but that's just going to get solemned. Oof. And with Ring already in the grave, going down to 2050 life points is probably not a huge issue. Just going to have to pass there with the BLS. And Techno might be able to just seal this one. Going to get in for 3,000. This is a pretty quick clock. Going to add a set monster to the hand. Still got that double Thunder Dragon. Sorry, add the set monster to the board. Hold on to those double Thunder Dragons. But this is a pretty quick clock here. Toxie, what is your play? Just going to draw, set a back row pass. A little bit starved for monsters here. Duo hitting 2 of them. And the Rhoda getting solemn. So not a fault of the deck, just a fault of the cards being used against you. Techno gets in for another 3,000, but we have Sakuretsu armor to deal with it. Okay. Yeah, Saku's good even against BLSs. Fair enough. And now is this an opening here for Toxie? We're not going to see the set monster flipped up. So it could be interesting to think what it might be. Could be a lot of things that doesn't flip. Maybe like a Sangan. We've got Call of the Haunted for who? For Kaiku, maybe? Call the Haunted on Kaiku, shut off any further Chaos plays. Techno's still a dark away here. Kaiku's going to attack the set monster. It is the Sangan, so they're going to get to grab the Spy to wall out here. But at least you're able to stick a threat here if you're Toxie. You just got to keep this pressure on. If you can. Hope you draw into a knock or something. Toxie's going to set a back row pass. Techno, you got the Spy in hand. Going to upstart to draw into some stuff, potentially. Ooh, Tribe Infecting Virus is a really good card here. Can cash in one of those Thunder Dragons to blow up the Kaiku. Start getting in for some damage. Hit for 16. And, man, that BLS really... Things were looking pretty good for Toxie, but the BLS... just able to swing things entirely over into Techno's favor. And now things are looking a little bit grim here. Toxie's just going to draw a back row. Set it pass. Techno going to hit in for 16 again. Yep, and this clock is real. Set monster and a back row here for Toxie. We're going to end phase Dust Tornado to pop. It was an Upstart Goblin. Pretty fair not to use that. That would have turned... I mean, it's still a 2-turn clock, but it might have put you out of lethal range depending on what your set monster is. Because if it's like Faith or something, you would have lethal next turn. Whereas if you had used Upstart, you would not. Toxie's just a little bit monster starved at the moment. Yeah, we got Flip Summon Spy. Spy will grab another copy of itself, put it in defense mode to play around Mirror Force. I think makes total sense here because these two alone are lethal. We're going to get in for potentially game. We got Book of Moon to set the tribe down. Okay, so you don't lose just yet. You take 12, go down to 500. Man, this other set's got to be like a dead dust shoot or something. You hate to see it. Titan's going to set a back row pass. Toxie, final stand here. What do we have? We've got Snatch Steal on the attack mode Spy. It's a little bit interesting. I mean, I guess it, depending on what you're going to do with it, it probably doesn't matter. But this, I mean, yeah, you can steal it. You can kill the tribe that you need to kill. And then Spy will wall out your opponent's Spy, like they'd have to crash, and you gotta hope your opponent's other monster can't hit you for more than 500. So, a little bit desperate of a play from Toxie, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Techno, can you just seal the deal? I mean, you could even just, like, tribute for Thunder Dragon, kill it, and then attack it with the other Spy or something. So, a lot of ways, you know, assuming that this back row is just a dead nothing, a lot of ways for Techno to close this game out. The last card is just the third Spy. We're not even going to go for the Thunder Dragon play. We're just going to crash Spies and get in for 12 for game. Do you have an out? What do you have? It's Compulse. Interesting. Okay. You don't always see that in warrior lists. You know, generally better against, like, Thousand Eyes Restrict sort of decks, but a lot of turbo decks are siding into Chaos Control now, so I can understand keeping the Compulse, or playing the Compulse if you're warrior, to deal with the potential smokescreen side coming out of turbo that's become popular. And it does save you here, although I mean, okay, you do have a play. You have pot into BLS plus another monster. Right. That's the play. Techno's going to set probably that Spy to try and wall out here. Toxie, do you have pot into something? We got just Kaiku. Pass. Okay, so Kaiku does wall out for now. Shuts off Chaos. Not a bad draw, all things considered. But you have to assume Techno's got an out for this, right? Oh, we just have Flip Summon Magician of Faith. Oof, and yeah, you can just... Well, you don't have any spells that immediately deal with it, but you can dig for something with Pot of Greed, which is probably going to be the play. Techno's going to grab the pot into a couple... We're not... Just set a bunch of stuff past, so it's unable... Kaiku effectively walling out what Techno's trying to do here. Toxie able to stall out one more turn. Let's see what the Heart of the Cards gives him for what might be his last draw of the game. We're just gonna go slamming with Kaiku, but we've got the Saku to deal with it. Yeah. These Sakus have come in clutch so hard for Techno all match. And it comes in clutch again there. And Toxie. Ooh, we've got BLS in main phase 2. Oh, man. Okay. So we're just top decking everything. The final stand here, we're going to banish that Spy that we knew about. Oh, no Snatch Steal from Techno. They would have used it last turn. Toxie is dragging this one out as best they can. A final stand. Final stand part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Techno, can you out a BLS? You needed a Saku to out the Kaiku last turn. You couldn't push for game. Are you out of gas, though? We've got Jar to dig. Oh, into Chaos Sorcerer. There you go. Yeah, so the Kaiku ability was relevant to turn them off of Chaos here. Now with the Kaiku gone, you can just Sork, deal with the BLS. And, well, unless you need another monster here, because Faith isn't lethal. We're going to banish. Show me the last monster? Oh, yeah, we can always just tribute for Thunder Dragon. Well played. 2-1. Chaos Turbo takes it down over Warrior. Really close match. Game 1, Toxie got off to a pretty strong start. Techno did not play around heavy Storm turn 1, and I think really paid the price for that. Just was on the back foot ever since they went neg from that. And Toxie just kept the pressure up and was able to seal out the deal. Game 2 was just typical turbo stuff. Opened a couple pieces of Trin, and Toxie just couldn't come back from that. Game 3 was really back and forth. Super interesting plays here. Toxie holding on for dear life towards the end with a series of relatively desperate plays. Was able to dig for the BLS to make a final stand, but Techno had the Chaos Sorcerer to out it and then hit for game. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I sure did, and I'll catch you all next time.